What's up guys, it's Shona and today we're gonna check out Tuai. Previously, we have checked out Tuai before, apparently sold out already. Since the products are pretty much similar, so I requested to go check out the site, the actual unit itself, so that someone breach the expectation of what buyers are actually going to get. Yeah, so we're gonna do that first before we explain what Tuai is all about. Cool, let's go. Hey guys, so now we are in type A 1109 square feet, and this is what they call a mock-up unit, an advanced unit. So while the entire building is still under construction, there will be units like this where they call it a mock-up. So everything here will be exactly what the buyers will get. Coming in, you can really see the tiles are all done, so these are the ones that's way more gentle to the eyes. This will be the kitchen, so now they are all covered for protection purposes, and the team is kind enough to add in temporary lights, so these are not included in the purchase itself. You have the backsplash, you have such, wow, this is so cool, and the width for the counter is 2.1 meters, connecting out to the yard space. And you can see this will be the connection to the void. So as mentioned previously, part of the attractive point is the adaptation of this thing called a universal design, which is just friendly to users of all age. So part of it will be a gradient between different levels instead of steps. So that is not as friendly to elderlies or people in wheelchairs. Walking from the kitchen, going through the dining, and this will be the living. It's very wide. The wall width here is around 3.6 meters and the ceiling is around 3 meters. So that's very nice. Then going out to the balconies, this will be the steel handrails. And the width of the corridor is around 1 meter, and this will be the car park location. There will be a walkway connecting two different towers going through the facilities deck. And this will be a location for all the aircon compressors. Apparently, they are also providing aircon, so that's very good. Then to also do some level of sound check, right? Moving on, you can see the aircons are already installed. There will be light points, fan points, all provided. There are also sprinklers, which is very good for safety purposes. And going in through the corridor, width is around 1.15 meters, and I really adore the height of the switches. So this is very friendly, everybody can reach. And going in, there will be 1, 2, 3 bedrooms, and this will be the shared bathroom. So as you can see here, they are providing Sorrento for basin, Sorrento for WC, and there will be a water heater installed with a window for ventilation, full height wall tiles. And you have the gradient downwards instead of a stepped. That's very nice, and you can look into the wall finishes. Ooh. Again, the gradient upwards to the corridor. Then this will be the first bedroom. Timber flooring, and this will be the actual window size. The dimension of the room is 3 meters by 3.4, and the ceiling and all is very tidy. There's a box up for your aircon piping side, and this is like level 1, and you can see that the view it's okay. So this will be the one very close to the facilities deck, and the doors and the frame are actually white, so everything looks elongated. Then you have also skirtings around the corridor. This will be bedroom 2, the one facing the internal void. Then for this is 2.9 by 3.4, but the windows will be smaller. The ventilation and daylight quality will not be as great compared to the previous one because this is facing the internal void. Again, with some box subs at the ceiling, timber floorings, timber skirtings, have a door stopper at the edge. That's nice. Last but not least, this will be the principal bedroom. So this is around 3.3 by 4.3 meters, very spacious. Now, one of the main selling points has always been the turning radius for wheelchair adapted within the bathroom itself. As a result, this is the principal bathroom. Similar to the previous bathroom, Sorrento basin and WC, but what's the difference, right? I cannot reach both ends of the wall. maybe I'm short lah, but the width is actually 1.8 meters, so you can perfectly have a wheelchair just in case, or you can just shower two of your kids together at the same time, and it's very safe to do all that. And we're just walking around the unit, right? So far so good. And just a refresher, in total there will be 330 units per block. So there will be Timur and Barat now. So each of them will have 330 units across a 6.6 acres piece of land. So again, density is part of their main selling point, where this is a condominium setting where the density is really controlled. So now we are actually on the link bridge between the car park to the tower, right? And this is something that some of the buyer might have problems with, because after I park my car at the far end, I need to actually walk just to be at my unit lah. But that's due to the design, and because of that, that free up a lot of ground floor space, so you can have a lot of ground floor facilities where the gym, the playground, the swimming pools all are at ground floor. So in the floor there will be 12 units serviced by 4 lifts, and this is the actual lift lobby. The width here is 2.3 meters and the height is 2.7. Well, now it's kind of bluish because there are still tint around, but this window will allow daylight and ventilation into the space. Then coming out from the lift lobby, this will be the main corridor going into the unit, and this will be somewhat lights into the space itself through the voids. This will be the central voids, and the corridor in terms of width is 2.2 meters. Wow. And the connection from the corridor over to the unit is also treated. It's going to be friendly for wheelchairs or strollers or whatever to go through. Okay, what we can also see at level 2 right now is we are already higher than a lot of roofs of the neighboring lot. That gives you very nice vistas across. And you just imagine if you're in a higher floor, right? It's generally unblocked. And here you can also see Shopee's brand new logistic hub. Does that mean closer delivery time as well? Also, this will be the seating treatments of the corridor, very tidy, and this will be the width of the void. Okay, so this will be the unit itself, and because we're in a low floor, so it can get a little dark, but as you go higher, then the void will be brighter. They also set up a drain just in case of water splashing in, and there will be a floor trap connecting to them. In the middle of the floor plate, this will be the refuse chamber. Right? It's a huge one for so little units, and windows attached to it. So it's located right next to a lift. So this is the entire process of execution. It means whenever the cleaners are actually cleaning off all the refuse chamber, they will be using this lift. And this is the same lift connected to the lift lobby, just that it's a dual door. And whenever they are cleaning out, so they will shut down one of the lifts for a while during the cleaning work, so the residents will continue using the remaining 3 lifts temporarily. So that's very thoughtful from the developer's perspective. Automatically, this also makes this the construction lift during renovation, right? All contractors must use this lift lah. Now we are at the highest floor of the residence, and this will be the view that you will get. So this is also for those who want to book unit, right? Should you book higher or should you book lower? Should you pay for the premium, right? This side will be facing the highway itself, and this will be the one viewing eco-garden. So you can enjoy their architecture, their town planning. You can actually look at Setia City Mall and the convention center and the commercial area there. Then here you will have some mountain views still. And that will be Hana and Huni coming up next to this. And this will be the road in between Setia Alam going into Bukit Raja's side. Then on the other side, we will get to see the entire industrial zone. And you can see this is a rather clean mix, the light type of industrial. And this particular land is then owned by another party, okay? there will be another compliance housing here called RSKU by this particular developer itself, so there will be another tower here. So just bear in mind. So there will still be certain level of uncertainty within the back. But if you think about the industrial area, the bad thing is it's not as beautiful as parks or forest reserve or mountains, definitely. But in other words, that creates a lot of job opportunity. We also create demand for spaces around this location. So the shop lots here will benefit from it, the residents here will benefit from it. Cool, there you go. And I think that's all for the tour around the construction site. So far everything looks really nice. Like they are so open for me to actually shoot their unit at this state, right? Means they are pretty confident lah, right? So what we'll do now is we'll go to the sales gallery and kind of explain what's coming up and the latest prices. Let's go. So just for revision, again, we are in Tuai, located adjacent to Eco Gardens, and it's in between two main highways. One would be the Setia Alam highway, the other one would be the Shapadu highway. So in other words, this one connects to Bukit Raja toll, the other one connects to the Setia Alam toll. This connects directly to NKVE. If you go straight, you go to the Subang Jaya Airport, Damansara and Mont Kiara. This one is actually connected to the Federal Highway. In other words, it also means that there's two highways that actually can access to the site because it's located right in between. And around this area, it's a very established address because it's located right next to Setia Eco Park and Setia Alam, where you have everything. You have the mall, you have the convention center, the parks, a lot of international schools. So there's the Peninsula International School, you have Tembi as well. And when you access to the site, when you come from this direction, because it's going through the neighboring lot, the infrastructure and the landscape around it is just amazing. And the entire surrounding is pretty matured with landed properties. Then this is an aerial shot of the exact site itself. So this will be Tuai Barat, the one that we reviewed before. And because of its design and principles, it sold out really well, like almost 100% already. And because the product is also working, the team decided to just mirror it over a line and call it Tuai Timur. And right in front, if you can see, it's all landed properties. At the far end, there will be Setia Alam and Setia City. Then at this end, it will be Eco Gardens. And now we are actually standing around here, which is Tuai Barat. After the team actually mirrored over, this will be the brand new tower, which is exactly the same. Still 330 units in a 6.6 acres piece of land. Still have the similar treatments of the bridge. And this will be the main road coming in from Eco Gardens. And what I like is the distance from the tower from the road itself. So you have this very long distance into the project itself. And this is somewhat like a proposed development at the front. But in the future, if that is settled, so there will be a link bridge that connects into commercial area and connect back to Tuai Barat. So in between, there's this link bridge that is safe. Residents will have to go through the road level at the back of the tower. Again, similar treatments of the car park. So residents will drive in, going through the facilities, going into the back. Then after they park their car, they will walk this bridge over. It's like 45 meters into the tower. Then they take their lift upwards. So if you pick the unit where the bridge is, yes, you are directly at the floor level of the connection, but that also means higher footfall around your floor because everybody from their car going into the unit, right, will go through your common areas. That's something to take note. Then at the ground floor, that will be the playground, that will be the swimming pool, the gym, and etc. And from tower to tower, there will be a distance of 6 rows of car parks, so it's very far away. And personally, my favorite of all will be the application of universal design across their products. So if you look at their product, it's not as fancy in terms of glossiness, but when you just walk around, it feels very comfortable. Safety is prioritized, you have ramps around, very cool. They even provided fire sprinklers when they don't really need to. Then this is the ground floor plan of the unit, and you can see by orientation wise, the tower is actually north-south facing. North will be the one facing the residential area, south will be the one facing the industrial side. And there are a lot of ground floor car parks. So when you pick your units, do take note where is the location of your car park. And this will be the entire driving experience when you come in. So by observing this, right, the clean area is really small in comparison to the entire site. Multi-purpose hall and the basketball court outside is actually huge. And it's actually located away again, so I think the strategy or somewhat running this under the management, right? So they can actually rent out to outsiders without compromising the safety of the project, right? That allows some income into the management fund. And this will be the floor plate. Similar, there will be 12 units per floor sharing 4 lifts. And we also saw the adaptation of the fire lift as part of the maintenance and service lift whenever they clear the refuse. So this is excellent. And you can see the voids just now. At the higher floors, the voids area will be way brighter than the lower units. And do check on the orientation when you pick your units. Generally, there are 2 types, type A and type B. 1109 square feet and 1216 square feet, but there's a type of B1 where you have a terrace at the side, so that will have a bigger build up, 1292 square feet. But what's very interesting, there's only 2 units of such products within the project. This is the penthouse unit, 2217 square feet. Very interesting. So one is sold, another one is around 1.1-ish, 1.2 million. And if you think about the latest individual title house being sold here is already 1.2 million. This becomes a very interesting conversation. Type B show unit to somewhat revise on the possibility of such unit, and after you go into the actual unit, what they give is actually pretty close in terms of specifications. Then this would be the reference or what could be your future home. And the current selling price right now is 450 per square feet, and the available unit starts from 536,000. So if you pick higher units, if you pick larger units, it will be more expensive. And I still remember on the previous visit, there used to be this stigma about high rises around the area. Because since this location has been so well known for landed product, people may not get used to high-rise living, but the result of the first phase proves us otherwise. And I guess that's all for this episode. It's now time for Sean's take 3 on 3. So the first 3 things I really like, number 1 would be the adaptation of universal design. The misunderstanding is that this is going to be like an old folks home, so youngsters shouldn't buy this kind of products. Actually, it's not true. It only means that the design approach to things prioritize on inclusiveness, so everybody can use. So like if there's a turning radius compliance to the space, it means that the width is way more comfortable than the usual, because if you prioritize profit, this kind of approach wouldn't make sense at all. They also prioritize a lot on safety. Another example would be the entrance to the unit, where a wheelchair can perfectly go in. Does it necessarily mean you need to be in a wheelchair? Not really, but it's just way easier for people. Then the way you open the door, is it a level type or is it a knob type? Then the transition between different floor levels, is it using steps or is there a transition gradient among them? Also the corridor width and the common areas. So shout out to the team for allowing me to check out the construction site. The corridor width is amazing, the lift lobby is okay, the refuse chamber is really nice. It just portrays the thoughtful side of the team. Then the second thing I like will be the density. So we spoke about this, the difference between condominiums and service apartments. So this is a pure residential product. There's no commercial activities or whatsoever. And per acre is only 50 units. So the norm right now is 100 over units per acre. This is only 50. So you have less cars, less residents within the space. And that's very, very hard to find in the current trend of development today. And the last thing will be the matured environment. So this plot of land is sandwiched between a landed stratified development. You can see a lot of individual title houses, and right at the back there will be light industrial. Also some rows of commercial here and there. So in terms of convenience, if you need to go to school, there's a lot of international school, there's Tembi around. There's a lot of government school as well. Because Setia Alam, Bukit Raja as an address has been around for very, very long, right? If you want malls, there's Setia City Mall, there's ICT. In terms of job opportunities, there's a lot of industrial activities within the area because it is very close to Port Klang anyway. In other words, this is just a very matured township, and I can foresee when this is ready, right, you can just move in and you know how to live already. And the bonus point will be the views that you get. So the serenity around this location, because high rises are just very little here. The one you have is only next door. Besides that, everything else is landed and you have unblocked view all the way. Then for the three things I have concern on, number one will be the location. As you mentioned, the accessibility, yes, this site is connected into two main highways, Shapadu and the NKBE. But if you work in KL, relatively this location might not work if you need to travel every day. A lot of residents here has been complaining about the highway during peak hours, but if you think about it, peak hours everywhere also stuck lah. So that's something you really take note, as you really need to think about where you work. If you actually work around Klang, this makes a lot of sense. And talking to the team just now, that's the main demographic of buyers for the first phase. The second thing I don't like will be the uncertainty of the neighboring plots of land. So the first uncertainty will be the immediate land that is right next to the building. So again, I checked, the worst case scenario would be light industrial activities. So it's going to be like logistics, somewhat similar to the Shopee Logistic Hub. It's going to be somewhat like that. That's the worst case scenario. It cannot be heavy industrial because it's just too close to residential areas. Therefore, there will be restriction imposed on the owners of that particular piece of land. The next uncertainty will be whether the commercial area between Tuai Timur and Tuai Barat. Currently now, that's the proposed idea of having some shops, some business activities below, and it will be ideal if it can support the lifestyle of residents. So if there's a lot of pharmacies, there's a lot of medical support kind of things, chiropractors, eye specialists or whatsoever, right, then the entire plan would work. But when will it happen? We are not so sure. But that means residents will still need to drive out whenever they want to buy things. There's nothing within walking distance just yet. So it would be a total bonus if that really happens. Residents can just walk out. Wow. And the last concern I have, not really my concern, but a lot of buyers from the first phase actually write in saying that they don't really prefer the horizontal distance between the car park to the residential tower. It means that whenever a resident drive, whenever I park my car, just imagine I park the furthest away at the elevated car park structure. I need to walk over to the residential tower before I go up. So that horizontal distance is a concern. Then there are certain levels of units where their car parks are located at ground floor, so they don't really prefer. In comparison to a car park structure located within the tower itself, the horizontal distance is actually closer. But then we check, the bridge is actually 45 meters and all the way it will be covered. So I think it's not too bad. Of course, once I park my car, my car park is located right next to the lift lobby. Then my unit is right next to the lift lobby. Then of course that's ideal. So the only way is to take note whenever you book your unit, check where is the location of the car park, if that is a very huge concern for you. And I guess that's all for this episode. So it's a very interesting one where we go to the site and the superstructural works has been completed. Also, there's a price revision from the first tower to the second. So the buyers of first towers must be excited lah. And personally, I'm also a fan of the adaptation of the UDG to really see such execution happen real life, right? And I guess that's all for this episode. It's so exciting to see the initial stage of the project, then sold out, then they actually move into a new phase, and they actually ask for feedbacks from existing customers. Apparently whatever they are doing is working, so they just adapt the same design over. So this is also very, very cool to document. I'll just put up the link for the first episode somewhere around, and you can totally see the transformation. If you really like this episode, like it, share, and even subscribe for more information like this. Until next time, this is Sean Tan. Ciao.